Oh, hey there. Let me just sit down. My knees hurt. Yeah. Getting back and running. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Andrew Robinson. We are Leather and Loom. And we as in me, because Emiliano's gone. And we are going to talk about the military watch collecting standard. Let's get into it. So you might be wondering, why the heck are we talking about watch collecting and the military? And really, I think that we're rooted in it. We are rooted in the fact that we, number one, value gear and we value tools, whether we like to carry it or not. We always have it. It's always on our person, and a lot of the things that we do in the military are rooted in time synchronization and just doing the thing. So I have went on this journey. I've been on this journey for years now, and I think it's so valuable just to expose my mistakes, expose some of the things I did wrong, but also help all my comrades that have been going through this themselves. I've had a bunch of people asking me, um, like, "Hey, Drew, where do I start military collecting?" And I think it's best to start it like this. I just did a video with Teddy Baldassor, and one thing that we continuously talked about when we were off and on screen was how he was like, "Dude, I think I'm like your therapist." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "You keep on talking about collecting and how you're trying to run from your collecting style, which might be a little military, kind of gross in my opinion." Um, but he's like, "That's kind of who you are, dude. Like, but you seem like you're the type of guy that just collects military watches, and that's okay, military styled watches, if you can categorize it as such." And I think the first point we should start by is saying this: collect what you like. You got to collect what you like. For me personally, I think I have two paths on this journey. I have my military side, and I think that a lot of military guys can relate to this. We have our military side, which is like this tough, rugged. We need a tool watch. We need that everyday thing that can handle the job. But we also have like our other side, our personal side, right? The life that we portray when we're not in uniform, which is, the other 50%, or if you're like me, the other 20% when you get to escape the office. But yeah, we have two sides. So collect what you like, and it's okay to stray away from the tool watch, the stereotype, because one thing that I like doing is being able to express myself in a way that nobody really can recognize me. I'm the tattooed army guy. Everybody can see it a mile away, but then they're like, "Oh, you have a Cartier Santos." Teddy Balsor was like, "Oh, you have a Cartier Santos, dude. I wasn't expecting that." It's like, well, I have a classy side. I'm not all gross, rugged, and tattooed, but maybe.
Unbelievable. He can't cope with the loss. He's in denial. That is so sad.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that the first starting point would be collect what you like. The second point, as a military collector, I would say is you need a tool watch.
Such a delicate touch.
Sheer magnetism.
Don't buy something that is going to be out of your budget, or you're going to be afraid to wear it. So I have a lot of peers who wear these awesome watches like these Submariners, Rolex Explorers, Tudor Black Bays, but it might be a little bit out of their price budget, or it's their first watch. So they're kind of stretching the budget on what they're comfortable wearing. So they wouldn't wear it to like a range or out to the field. And that's perfectly fine, if you like the watch. But what I would say is if you're buying it for a military purpose, I would buy something you're absolutely comfortable with just wearing on a daily basis. Um, a lot of people know I have a Rolex Submariner, and the No Date Submariner is really rooted in military history. But guess what? It's also a $10,000 watch, and when a watch is like an eighth or a ninth of your total yearly income, you're probably not going to want to jump out of planes with that, guys. But what I would say is have that go-to watch that you can absolutely just enjoy and wear it every day. I think a good example of that might be like the Seiko Willard. It's rooted in military history. I know I'm biased. I'm biased. I own the Seiko Willard, but it's an awesome watch, and it's rooted in military history. It's a tool watch. It's ergonomic, and I think it's something that you can throw on your wrist and just absolutely enjoy. Third point is don't buy the stereotype, guys. You don't have to wear a black dial watch on a NATO strap like me. You don't have to do the same mistakes I did. That's why I'm here on YouTube and on the internet to tell you guys there's another way. If you want to get a blue dial steel watch that's a diver, freaking do it. What I'll say is this: everybody in the military has different jobs. We all have different jobs. I'm an infantry officer, so if I were going to go to combat tomorrow, am I going to wear my Rolex Submariner that you can see a mile away on my wrist? Probably not. So we don't need to build these excuses for generating purpose to buy these watches. But something practical would be like a Casio. I know that hurts everybody's feelings as watch collectors because we want to justify our really large purchases and be like, well, I need a Submariner because I'm a captain in the army and I need to watch. You probably just need a Casio, man. You do. It's true. I'm talking really close to the mic so you get the point. Um, yeah. You also need a watch that fits your lifestyle. So that's probably my last point on that is you need a watch that fits your lifestyle. So that means budget. That means it needs to fit your budget, ladies and gentlemen. Don't buy a watch that you're uncomfortable to wear. You also need something that maybe like fits your job. Like if you're a pilot, uh, you might be interested in chronographs or Breitling Navitimers or something like that. Not necessarily because you're going to use it, because don't tell me that you're using your Navitimer when you're flying an Osprey. Uh, Unless you are, man, show me the video. You probably just want something that matches your lifestyle because then it's much more relatable and it's easier to transition to a conversation. And that's my last point. As someone in the military, I think the biggest thing is their conversation pieces. And what is a big part of the military that we really don't talk about, but it's very true, is like storytelling. You ever been in a patrol base or out in the field and you're just sitting there with your dudes and you're just like, hey, like anybody got any good stories? You got any good stories, huh? Tell me them. Yeah, we've all been there. So when you're flying, an Osprey, and then you get with your crew and you're like, hey, this is the Navitimer. It's rooted in aviation. It participated in World War II, et cetera, et cetera. Then you start to build a connection with that piece, and I think that's really important. So I value my Seiko Captain Willard just as much as I value my Rolex Submariner, my Rolex GMT. You want a classic tool watch? I think a really good classic tool watch is like uh, not breaking the bank. It's $15, and it's the Casio F91 whiskey. The F91 whiskey, I actually found one. Hold on, I have one right here. Shaka. I just found it on the ground in a motor pool, and some soldier lost it, but it's still working perfectly fine. I've been swimming with the thing, and I really enjoyed it. It's a easy everyday piece, and I think that that's what it's all about. Or get yourself a G-Shock of any type. The DW 5600, you can absolutely rock something like that. Or like, let's say that you're not out in the field and you don't need something that can take a beating. Yeah, wear that Rolex Submariner. Or a really cool watch for military guys is the Aerospace or the Emergency by Breitling. Both of them kind of expensive quartz watches, but the Emergency has some really cool background in military history with extractions and finding people in emergencies that we won't get into. And then the Navitimer is really cool. Breitling has some really cool Avengers, some blacked out watches. And, right now, when I went to go do this video with Teddy Baldassar, I'm like, I'm going to buy myself a chronograph. I really need a chronograph. And what did I get? I bought the Zenith that's all blacked out. And it's because it's what I wanted. I don't, you don't necessarily want to be the military guy all the time, but sometimes if that's what you are, that's what you are. And you just got to buy what you like. I think another good example of a great watch for military guys is the Tudor Black Bay. The Tudor Black Bay is awesome. It's a $4,000 $5,000 watch. It's your first big watch purchase as a military guy. You wanna explore beating it up and scratching it before you go you dive into it. I was gonna say something else. We can't say that on the internet. Before you dive into it, throw some scratches on it. Enjoy the watch. Put it on a NATO if you like it. Who cares? But at the end of the day, just buy something you're comfortable with hurting, because it is your watch, ladies and gentlemen. It is your watch, and you have to wear what you're comfortable wearing. And I think that is the theme we've been circulating around this entire video: is you got to wear what you like in the military, because yeah, what else can you express yourself with in uniform other than a wristwatch? Not much else. Maybe a cool pen if you're a weird guy like that. But um, that's what I got for you guys. Check out some watches. Subscribe to us if you're interested. I post videos every month if I can, but we're really doing a lot of shorts recently on Instagram and YouTube. And send us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys, especially if you're the military guys. We'd love to hear from you. This was really fun. I think this speaks to who I am, but I'm going to close it with this. As a collector, you don't have to just buy all the military watches. If there's something that interests you, go buy it. If it fancies if it tickles your not military side, then rock it. Because I have Grand Seikos, I have Cartiers, and I'd like to think part of me is elegant, but probably not. But that's okay. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm Andrew Robinson. We are Leather and Loom. Check out our website. Check out our Instagram. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you.